Hey everyone, this is Cindy and I want to show you my second Stash Buster journal. The first one was a glue book that didn't take much work because I already had it all pretty much done except sewing in. This one is one that I had been planning on doing for a while. I had a stack. I still have a pretty big stack, but at least it's a little bit smaller. A stack of stuff I've been just collecting, or as I find it in my stash, just tossing it just, on birds. So then I found this book. Actually, I found 3 books. I found this one, The Winter Tree Birds, and this one that I used for some pages in here. And I think one of these may end up as another glue book, and one may end up as another bird book. So maybe in the future. But this is the one I wanted to work on because I love the size. I love the color. And it was Western Guide to Field Birds. So anyway, it just lends itself to be a bird book, of course. So it measures, it's kind of small, and that's what I like about it. It just fits really great in your hand. It's not too huge or anything like that. It measures 4 3/4 by 7 1/2. And I kept the original spine. It's a 1-inch spine. So I didn't add to it because I liked, that it said the name of the book. And then I did put this little sheer lace over it just to kind of decorate it a little bit. And then also I collaged on the front just a little bit with some ribbon, a little flower, some lace, and this bird cutout, and this little lace medallion. So anyway, I think I started talking about it. The size, 1-inch spine, it's got 3 signatures, and a total of 128 pages. So, and then I put a little bit of lace on the edges, and I try not to fill it up too much, but it's getting there. But every pocket has a tag, and these are the original end pages, and I was able to keep those. Let me zoom in just a little. It may get too big. I'll try to stay in frame. I tried to keep these, and it has the lady's name on it who owned it, but that's just part of the history of it. And at one time it sold for $2, and I don't know if that's what I paid for it or not. I can't remember. But anyway, that's the original end pages, and I glued some lace on it, and there's her signature again. And I made a library pocket, and Louise gave me this bird tag, which was just perfect because it goes perfect in this little pocket. Now, this page here came from one of those 2 books I showed you earlier. And of course, I had to trim it down. But on the edge here, I don't know if you can see it. Right there you can. Is the perforations where it was sewn into the original spine of the book it came from. So I had left that on the pages, and then I just thought, it's got little holes there. I wonder if I could just run my needle thread up through there. And so I did, and it just kind of gives it another little dimension on the edge. So I just used some embroidery floss to kind of match the pages. So you'll see that running through the book. Okay, this is some a digital print from Scrappers, Pixel Scrappers, that I had printed a while back. Just as soon as I downloaded it, I printed some of it. So, and I had another bird book too, I believe. I'm not sure. This came from a bird book. I'm not. It might have been this one. I'm not sure. I don't think so though. You'll see some of the pages that came from this book. So anyway, that's where this bird picture came from, and I just made a tuck out of it. And then this is one of my digital downloads from my floral ephemera cards, not ephemera cards, journaling cards. This is just a page from a planner and just a yellow piece of paper I had in my stash. And this is another one. No, this was a piece of scrapbooking paper I had. Don't have a clue where I got it from. I just found it and put it in my stack of stuff. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you saw where I made tuck spots out of puzzle pieces, and I covered this one with napkin, and I think it was probably one of the ones I showed as a sample. So I've had it waiting for this journal, and this is a digital download from somewhere. Yes. Sorry, I can't remember. This is from one of those other 2 books, and here's the page that's from this actual book. It's the bird identification. So, and here is a tuck made out of something I've downloaded from somewhere. And I had some old art magazines that this was a painting someone had done. And this page it's on is a blue piece of notebook paper. And this is from an old encyclopedia. It's called an educator's encyclopedia. It's really old. So I just had one volume, and it was the B volume, so there was the stuff about birds. Ledger paper. Here's some of that paper I showed you earlier. I just made into a pocket. It's stitched around it, and then this tag is just made out of my tag punch, and then some stickers I got from my sister-in-law, and just some leftover fabric. And then I just made a little cluster there. Make sure I'm in frame. This is another digital print I've had, and a lot of these things I've had for a while, and I've had printed out for a while. That's why I can't remember where I got them from. I want to say Christie Art Designs, but as sure as I say that, I'm totally wrong, so pretend like I didn't say that. So now that's the center of the signature, and I just tied the strings in a bow. And now we're on the back side, so we just see the other sides of these papers. And this is just a little tuck I made out of a piece of wallpaper. And the blue and the green are both from security envelopes. And I just cut them with my punches. There's a little bit of stamping. And here's another bird image from whichever book I can't remember it's from. Oh, I know what it's from. Those are from a calendar. Yes. Julie had sent me a calendar. And yeah, they were perfect because they had all those bird images in it. This is the same Julie that I'm making the Anne of Green Gables book for. And I have finished the book. I have filmed the flip, but I'm just waiting until the middle of the month whenever I can send it to her, and before I upload that video. And that's probably the longest video I've done. It's going to be that video. It's like, oops, sorry, bumped the camera. It's going to be like 25 minutes long. This is just a post-it note that I got at Salvation Army, and this is some wallpaper border. I just made it into a little pocket. So, planner page, that same image that I just put some of the security envelope around it, and I also stitched around it. And this is from a note card. I just cut out the picture part because it was too wide for this journal. This journal was challenging because it's only a little over 4 inches wide. End of the signature, starting the next signature. These are both pages from those two other books I showed you earlier. There's ledger paper, planner paper, scrapbook paper. Here's just a pocket made out of book page, and it's got this is from that art magazine that had paintings of nature in it, and I believe that's from there as well. Just a little bluebird. And here's another, oh no, this is a page made out of that wallpaper border. I just put it onto some white cardstock just to stiffen it up a little bit so it wouldn't curl, and then I just made a little tuck out of some collaging. And then this tag is just a couple of actual postage stamps. This is some craft paper, the blue lined paper again, and that's just a cluster I've made. It says find your wings and fly. This is a page from, I believe this is from that old encyclopedia I was saying that I had the B volume. And here's that paper that I can't remember where I got that digital print. And this is just a greeting card that I just trimmed it to fit here. And then I've got this picture that I backed onto some blue security envelope. And I had decided I was going to stitch around it. I forgot to do that. So I'm going to stick that up there, and I'll get it as soon as I'm done with this. Here's the center of the signature. These are pages from the actual book. I just put some lace on that one. And here's another sheet of that digital printout. And that one from the encyclopedia. Here's an envelope made out of book page, and inside of it is just a piece of this leftover paper that I just stitched around. Made a little journaling card. And this is a little journaling card with an envelope, which I should put something in. And it's just decorated with bits of pieces of that napkin that I showed you earlier. It was on that tuck. And this just tucks under there. And then slides behind there, and this tucks behind here. Here's another picture from that calendar, and a painting of a bald eagle from that art magazine. This is from a children's book. It's got the dove on it. Here's more of that book page. that I ran the embroidery floss through. So that ends one signature, and we're starting another one. And there's more of that embroidery floss, ledger paper, and the scrapbook paper I showed you earlier that I had gotten from Pixel Scrappers that I just printed off. This is another design they had, so that's just a little scrap. And then there is a pocket with the 2 bluebirds on it, and a little piece of lace for a topper. There is the opposite page, or another page from that old encyclopedia. This is a tuck, and I don't remember where I got this image. And there's these smaller bird images like that are cut from the pages from this actual book, and that's just a cluster. This is a page from those 2 children's books. There's that scrapbook paper I got from Pixel Scrappers. You just print it out. And then here is a pocket made out of scrapbook paper, some lace, and just this little printable on there. And I just took some ribbon and some rickrack and just stitched it and made a, oops, sorry. Stitched it and made a design there. And this tag is the one I did as a challenge for the Foxy Crafters Facebook page. And we had so many pages, so many minutes to make the background, and then so many minutes to use 4 elements that we drew randomly out of a hat. And my elements were beads, flowers, bling, and paint. And this turquoise here is the paint I kind of dabbed on. So anyway, I put that in here, and the beads just kind of hang out the top and kind of dangle, kind of like a charm without it actually being a charm. So that's good. So this is a page from the book, and like I told you, I cut some of these birds out and made some of the tags with it. And here's another picture from that calendar, and another piece of that scrapbook paper I printed out, and then I just took a scrap of lace and decorated that pocket. Center of the signature is the pages from one of these 2 books I showed you earlier, and there's the embroidery floss running through the holes. Another page, another pocket made out of that calendar. And this is just a tag. It's got 2 bird pictures and some ribbon. And I'm pretty sure these pictures came from the actual book. There's another one of those tucks, and I just took some bird images from the book and some washi tape and some scrapbook paper and made just a little journaling card. There's the bird page from that encyclopedia. Here is a pocket made out of book page. I just kind of got crazy with my turquoise paint. And this little journaling card I made out of the Tim Holtz stamp. Just stamped it onto some manila folder. And this is just a journaling card. It's got some collaging on it. And just like I said, I went crazy with the paint. And at the back of the book, I took the page that was attached to the end page and just folded it back and made a tuck out of it. And I put this, just this little journaling envelope that's just made out of book page and some scrappy paper, and it's got a napkin Mod Podged on it, and it's been stitched around, and it's just tucked in there. And then there we are at the end. So anyway, this is going to be for sale in my Etsy shop as soon as I get the listing done, and I will post this video and we'll try to sell it. So thanks for watching. Bye.